The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's fan control. Power to the fans.
Are you ready for it?
This is FCTV, fan-controlled television. Programs created and produced for the fans, by the fans of fan-controlled sports and entertainment. As always, power to the fans. And now, it's time for the show.
Don't cause a ruckus. We talking that talk and spitting them facts. We setting them traps and cracking them backs. We got all the news. We know all the stories. We start from the bottom, rise up to the glory. We say what your local reporters can't say. We break down the X's and O's on the play. It's AJ, King, Con, and Jose. Ruckus. We call it right on the first take and they love us. Yeah, we the best when it comes to sports debate. Find the podcast and let it play. If we get you in your feelings, that's okay. AJ and Jose send you on your way like, bruh, don't cause a ruckus. We just call it how we see it, big bro. And that we will always.
What's up, Internet? Welcome to Don't Cause a Ruckus, the sports debate show that tries not to take itself too seriously. If you didn't know, the show goes live on twitch.tv/fancontrolledsports every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Jose Ruckus. Joining me, as always, is my arch rival and good friend, AJ Khahs. What's up, AJ?
Not too much, man. Just I went to the Hawks Bulls game last night, as we were talking about beforehand. Enjoyed that. Besides that, not too much, man. Just living life. Looking for a new job and living life. That's it. You know?
So this isn't a topic on the show. It's just a stat I heard like yesterday. Have you seen this? Like the Hawks are like perfectly 500.
Yeah, it's weird. Like
not even just like game score. Like they points and points given up. It's like perfectly symmetrical in every. It's insane. They're like the most mid team right now.
Yeah, literally, we are the most mid team right now. But I take that as a good thing because like look at where we were before Quinn Snyder and like look at how we are now. Like we weren't mid before Quinn Snyder. We were worse than mid. So that's improvement to me. Like where would we have been had he been here at the beginning? We're in the play-in like tournament. So yeah, I'm excited.
You could be far worse off.
We beat
this is a live show. So you can be here in the chat with us, just like my guy Project Nerd HQ is. He does Yankees Morning Brew over on the KOD network. Shout out to the KOD of the FCF. But Giants, my San Francisco Giants, opening day, we went up against the Yankees, and we took one of 3 of the series. The Yankees are a way better team than we are this year for sure. I was happy to get one, but they definitely rocked us a couple of times in that series, man. Shout out to you guys. I saw your pictures. I saw you out there at the games. Salute to you. But yeah, man, Giants gonna be bad this year, real bad.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a long season, man.
See, I understand the feeling, but I can't be like same because Braves are gonna.
No, the Braves are really good.
Yeah, they're looking good. I'm excited.
Actually, you know what? I bet the Giants are gonna be like the Hawks of the MLB this year. I bet we're gonna be like perfectly 500. We're gonna be super mid. Yeah, exactly.
But see, that's the beauty. People make fun of mid teams, but I kind of love them just because they can go to the playoffs, and then those are the Cinderella stories in the playoffs. The teams that are like, can they make it? And they're like,
those are always the fun ones when it's like this mediocre team. The New York Giants, right? When they beat the Patriots, just like this mediocre team, nobody thinks is going to be anything, and then they just go on this massive run. That's always super fun.
I mean, I just hope to see another Trae Young in Madison Square Garden because, like, for some reason, the man goes off in there. Like,
he likes playing in New York.
He feeds off the energy. It's like he's New York's kryptonite, you know. And they're I'm gonna say this: Knicks are playing surprisingly well. I think
they've been up and down throughout the entire season. They are starting to really pull it together right now.
I really think that they're playing way above they should be. But hey, I'm biased, but I'm realistic. All right. Like, I know that we're a mid team. I admit we're a mid team. Like, Falcons are not good. I was excited when we were in the Lamar Jackson hunt. Trey is a Dollar Tree, Steph. I mean, I feel like Trae Young gets a lot of disrespect for a lot of reasons. The man leads the league in assists and has done it 2 years in a row. Nobody gives him respect for that. The man stepped up his defense game, which a lot of people said wasn't good. People praise Luka this year, even though his team is just as bad. It's the hairline.
Hairline.
That's disrespectful if it's just based off the hairline. But, like, you know, when he's ranked 12th among his peers as, like, in the Eastern Conference as far as point guards go, that's just disrespectful. The man leads the league in assists. He's almost like he's definitely top 10 in scoring. And this is me not looking at the stat sheet. So
no, but he's right though. It's the hair, bro. Because I always love that meme of like the lollipop that's gotten dropped on the ground. Yeah, it's honestly perfect.
I if that's the case, and I don't blame you if that's the case, the man needs to either just go bald and rock it, or, you know, just kind of get like a little fade going. Like, he could rock like a little short, like, you know, like crew cut kind of thing. I don't know. If it's just purely based on haircut, bro, change it up, man. You need to get some respect in the league based off your cut. Like, that's not good. That's not a good look.
All right. Well, let's get into this. Let's get into the show proper here, because we don't have a lot of topics, but I feel like each of these topics we're gonna be talking about for like a long time. We're gonna get really deep today. So let's start it off with probably what's been the biggest news story of the week. March Madness. It's all wrapped up. A whole bunch of interesting stuff went down in this final. I thought the final was, for a blowout, super entertaining to watch. That's super rare that you get a blowout of a game that's also like really, really fun to watch. So that was really impressive. But there was some drama at the end of the game that everybody knows about. I don't want to just focus on the drama that happened, because there's a lot of other things that I really want to talk about this. But this is the place where we have to start. AJ,
do we want to start there, or do we want to start with positives? Because like we can, I'm down to start with, like, let's do a sandwich. Let's start off with a positive thing, and then we talk about negative, and then end with a positive thing. I'm gonna say this: best, like, also first women's like March Madness final that I've watched. I loved it. I think you're 100% right. It was a great game. Just showed both sides how good the teams are. Even though LSU kind of commanded the ball, you can see why both teams ended up where they were.
It was a strength in numbers situation with LSU, where they just had and coming off the bench, they had somebody putting up like 20 points off the bench. You just can't do that when you're like I mean, it's not like
it was Iowa Clark versus the world. It felt like, you know?
Like Iowa has other really good players there, but it's that entire team goes through Caitlin Clark. So they were outnumbered for sure, and LSU did a wonder, like,
deservedly
the shooting,
winning,
unbelievable shooting that we saw from them. It was like watching the Warriors. We're just like, oh wow, every single person on this team can shoot.
Like, shocking, every single one.
Yeah, it's not normally like that. This is not only the highest viewed women's basketball final of all time. It's one of the most viewed ESPN Plus programs of all time. Like, this is outplayed the Masters. This outplayed almost every game of the NBA Finals last year. it's like people were engaged in this game.
I think it was totally what BC Lion says. There was a little bit of drama, but to me, I want to go back to what you were saying. 100% you were right. It was a battle of like David versus Goliath, because like Iowa, if you look at the stats, Clark put up 30 points in 35 minutes, and the next closest person was 13 points, and it was two other teammates. But then compare it to LSU, and you have, Williams, you have Morris, you have Carson, all getting 20 points plus, not even going alongside what Angel Reese was doing. And she's normally just a superstar. She had an off night, happens to the best of them.
She
but
got
she
into
had
foul trouble
teammates.
super early on, and she just had to spend so much time on the bench.
But that's the difference between the teams. Like, had that situation happened to Iowa, it would have been even bigger of a blowout.
Yep.
So you're 100% right. I think, I thought it was just a great game. I think it was just because it was a battle of personalities, man. Like, you haven't seen that in a long time in the women's like March Madness, because I think we're going to start getting into the bad part. There's like a stigma around, certain people being expressive, and I think we both talked about it last week. I love it when especially female players get emotion, like show emotion on the court, get into it, get like, we were applauding Caitlin Clark. We got to keep the same emotions when Angel Reese does it. Like, I thought personally the only reason why anyone could get mad was because she was having a bad game. Like, she should not be talking. Like, any one of her other teammates that were having a great game, go for it. Pile it on. 100%. You're having a great game that day. Go for it. Love it. Like, but, Reese, she had, 10 rebounds. She had a double-double. Not bad, but like not nearly the level of play Caitlin Clark was playing at. So to me, that's if you have an issue, make it about that. Don't make it about anything else.
It's the Pat Bev problem, right?
Yeah.
The loudest guy on the court's like the 8th best player on the court.
Yeah.
Angel Reese she's the star at LSU. So I'm willing to give her the pass. She's up there. She's had a wonderful tournament.
Oh yeah. You have to give her a pass in this situation. They won the Final Four. They won March Madness. Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously we talked about this last week, right? There's a stigma for women, talking trash in sports. And I do think, at this point, it's obvious what's going on here, which is that there is an even bigger stigma. This is a black woman talking shit to a white woman. Yep. And there's a certain kind of person who gets very upset about that. And it's bullshit. And I'm glad that these people are getting rightfully called out by everybody. This shouldn't have been a story. It unfortunately was. But I do like that it draws more attention to the women's game. I like that. Yeah. I really like that this is going to create they're going to be in the turn. Caitlin Clark's, she's going to be a senior next year. They're still playing college tournaments against each other.
Yep.
I want to see what happens next year. I want to see Iowa play LSU next year, because you just know Caitlin Clark is somewhere like in the snow of the Midwest putting up jump shots right now, right?
She's doing like a Rocky montage sequence where she's just like in the snow carrying like a live like elk on her back, just like trudging through the snow, shooting with the elk still hung on her back, just doing 3 free throws and 3-point shots.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what the future for both of these players is. They're such great personalities. They might play. They might play. What do you think's better? That they play on the same WNBA team, or that they play on other teams? What would be more interesting?
I don't know. Like, genuinely, I would love to see. I think it would be a better storyline, personally, for them to be on the same team in the WNBA, only because then there could be like a 3-team drama, because we already know what's going on with going on with the 2 powerhouses we got going on with New York and Vegas over there. So like, if we can add like a 3rd or 4th team into the mix, that'd be great. I think it'd be awesome to see them, especially those 2, like with the history they have, because I feel like it's mostly like, it's kind of like Trae Young and Luka, Like it's mostly media based. I don't think they actually have a personal rivalry. I think it's purely media based. I think this was just the heat of the game, them talking trash. Everybody talks trash during the heat of the game. I would love to see them be partners. I think it would be a great storyline. And I think they would be phenomenal together. Like, can you imagine the two of them playing on the same side of the ball?
Really, really good.
It would
really,
be electric,
really
man.
Good. Yeah.
Like, imagine the viewership numbers then. Like, you got to think like these two women arguably are the main reason. LSU is a great team. Don't get me wrong, but these two women arguably are the reason why they had such big numbers. And if they can translate that to the WNBA, whatever team lands them, merch money, man. That's just the merch money.
Oh yeah, selling jerseys,
hoops. I think you guys should try to poach some. Just do a little poaching.
So
we're giving you $1 million ideas here. Just tune in to Don't Cause a Ruckus, you guys. D's, Josh, you'll love us, man.
See, you brought up the ratings and like the draw that these two women were to this tournament, right? To this championship game. And I want to touch on that for a little bit because I've heard this talked about a lot, even on some of the shows that on this network, that it's like women's basketball finally has stars, right? And now that they have stars, they can start, they're going to bring in more viewership and stuff. And I don't think that's actually the correct way to look at this. Women's basketball's had stars. They've had big personalities. They've had excellent players, splashy players like these two. There's Asia Wilson. There's Brianna Stewart. There's Diana Taurasi. There's so many great players already playing who are amazing personalities, super entertaining to watch, talented players. It's just that finally the people showing the sports are putting them in prominent positions for the world to see them. Remember that, like, this is the first year that the women's tournament is called March Madness.
It's true.
Think about that. Like, they've been operating this entire time without the branding that we all know this for. It's women's sports don't get as much media attention in just the marketing side of things. So I really hope, there's right now talk about the NCAA splitting up and selling the women's tournament as its own thing. I think they absolutely need to do that because one, look at these ratings. You're going to make so much money if you do it. But two, if you sell it to ESPN as its own thing, they have to care about it. This is next championship isn't going to be on ABC at noon, right? It's going to be prime time. And that's what women's sports need because it's entertaining. They have the stars. Just put them in prime time and the numbers will be there. I genuinely believe that. So
I think there's also a level of I know my father-in-law says this, but like, the NBA has gotten so oversaturated with like NBA talent, like star level talent. And it feels like sometimes it's hard to, keep up with all the drama too. Like there's a lot of drama where I feel like, especially women's sports now, there's like a nice focus on the game and like actually like the level of skill that these women play with. And it's a little refreshing, like just, I don't know. For me, I just really enjoyed it. It was just fun and electric to see, dude. I'm just enjoying, like you said, the fact that they're getting the attention they deserve. And it's hopefully someday, like you said, they get the prime time spot, it'll translate to numbers because I feel like it will.
Yeah, I'm super happy about this because you know me, like I've been banging the drum about like the WNBA for like a year now, just like everybody pay attention to this
because of you. Like
I've been telling everybody, and now seeing this, seeing like people are like finally starting to get it. Like I'm super happy, man, because I love the women's game, and I think that this is huge, and I think it's going to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I think it's also sets a positive tone for like women's sports in general. Like, man, you can strive to be that and have everyone admire you. Like it's not just this niche thing like anymore. Like soon, hopefully, like these stands and stadiums will be full with viewers and fans.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of leads into the next topic, right? Because the MLS has been struggling a little bit for a while now. It's some of the teams they're like Portland or I think even Austin's really taken up their team. Those are really good markets where these teams really succeed. But the MLS has kind of been struggling in a lot of these cities. And now there's talk. Messi and PSG, that relationship's falling apart. They can't seem to agree on a contract. He doesn't want to take a pay cut. They're not willing to offer him more money. So he's now, I mean, the likelihoods are between Barcelona and Miami, Inter Miami of the MLS. AJ, what do you think about the probability of that? And like, what would that mean for the MLS?
I mean, I would love that. I think it'd be great, but I think he's gone on record to say that he's not going to the MLS. Like he you know, Messi says that's far and away the last resort for him. I think it's purely just he feels like he's better than Ronaldo, even though Ronaldo's on track to be, you know, score 1,000 goals in his career, which no football player has ever done before. He's also the like highest paid football player in the world right now. And I think Lionel Messi, he wants that I'm the GOAT. I won the World Cup. This is over. Pay me and let me show the world that I'm the best football player in the world. So I feel like ego's getting into it a little bit. He's not going to go to the MLS. There's no way, shape, or form that I see it like it happening. I'd love for it. Really? I think it'd be great for the league, but I genuinely don't see a way. I think he goes to the Arab Soccer League before he goes to the MLS.
No, I think he's pretty much said he will not go to any of the Saudi or Arab soccer leagues.
I don't think he goes to the MLS.
I think MLS. I think MLS is the most likely.
Do you want to put like we got to put like some sort of fan IQ bet? God, Deez, where's our ability to bet our fan IQ during the show? Come on, man.
We want that. We need that.
We want that. We need it.
Well, I think if you look at the odds on favorite, people are saying Barcelona is the favorite.
Oh yeah.
I think you look at the history of Barcelona and their financial fair play, you know, situations. They've had a lot of trouble with, you know,
some shady dealings,
making sure that they can actually pay their players legally. They've really struggled with that, and I don't see them being able to like really put together this massive contract to get Messi. Whereas if you look at what Inter Miami's offering Lionel Messi, it's probably the most lucrative deal of anything that he's being offered, because they're offering him ownership in the team. They're offering him a huge stake in ownership, and Inter Miami's about to build a new stadium, which is going to skyrocket the value of that team. Lionel Messi this is like $1 billion contract essentially if Lionel Messi goes for it. Just over time, how the team is going. Sports teams, they don't go down. Sports teams go up.
I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of people tweeting out that, you know, there's a monster deal for him from Al Hilal in the Saudi League for $400 million a year to make him the highest paying player in the league. You know, people are saying that the MLS has been ruled out. As much as it sounds great, man, I really don't think that that's happening.
People are saying MLS is ruled out because they want MLS to be ruled out.
I don't know,
People don't
man.
want to see Messi go to MLS.
I would love it. No. This isn't coming from me.
We're Americans.
We're
would
Americans.
like it.
We would love it. Yeah, man. Like, I hope. I think it'd be great. I just don't see it happening, man. Like, it's like, and I'm not making the comparison that MLS is like USFL or anything, but it's like, you know, telling, I don't know, like who's like Heineke that the Falcons just going up to him and be like, hey man, you know, you can leave the NFL. You got a cushy gig in that, like as a backup quarterback for the Falcons in the NFL. You got a good contract, like 10 million for like what, or 14 million for like 2 years. This is pretty good. Or we can give you the same thing plus ownership in the USFL. Come on down. You think he's going to go? No, I don't think he's going to go. There's no way he's going to go. He's going to be like, I'm sticking to the NFL. And I feel like it's a similar situation. Like, yeah, he's a back, like, you know, yeah, he's not going to be at Paris Saint-Germain. He may go to Barca, but it may not. He may have to go to like a Saudi league. Sure. But hey, he can still play with the big boys, you know? Like, he's still up there. Like,
the MLS is a more prestigious football league than the Saudi league is.
I'm sure, but they're paying like 4 times as much as the MLS could. Like, like 400 million a year is a lot.
Not if you take ownership into account. If you take the ownership stake that he's being offered in the team, he's getting paid way more if he goes to MLS.
I don't know, man. I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. Maybe somebody in the chat can convince me, but like, I'll put $1,000 on the fact that he's not coming to the MLS. Like, it just straight up out here, like being bold as crap with it.
I wouldn't be
like,
so confident.
I mean,
we got
I'm
Zlatan.
pretty confident.
We got the Zlatans. People didn't think Zlatan was gonna come here, but he did.
Yeah, and then like left for like pretty quickly.
Oh, he was here for like 4 years or something. He was here for a while.
Let's see. Okay, he was no, he went back to AC Milan just to end his career. Yeah, he was here for what, 2 years? He was here for 3 years.
3 years.
Not even. No, not even. He was only here for 1 year. Sorry, excuse me. He was only here for 1 year. He was on LA Galaxy from 2018 to 2019, then was at AC Milan. He left Manchester United. I just read it wrong. So he was literally in the LA Galaxy for 1 year and then left to go to AC Milan. Yeah, dude, he was great, but like he does what a lot of like lower tier like athletes towards the end of their career does. Like he came for a year just so he can get back. Like Nene, not Nene, what was it? Nani was in Orlando for like a year or two. Now he's back out in the league. Like they just use it as like, a rehab year, man. Like that's the year. It's like, we need money, give us some money, and then we'll get back to playing the big boy league because we can relax a little down here. Like that's how they look at it.
Don't be so confident. I think
BC Lion is like, I'm right. Yeah.
No, I disagree. I think MLS right now is, other than Barca, I think it's the most likely. I think it's between MLS and Barca. I would be genuinely surprised if he goes anywhere else.
Get ready to be surprised, buddy.
I rarely am.
That's the most confident thing I've ever heard.
Let's talk about our next story here, because Andrew Wiggins is on his way back for the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors have been kind of struggling this year. They have like the worst road record in the NBA. They're fantastic at home, but terrible on the road. AJ, is Andrew Wiggins the thing that's going to set the ship straight for the Golden State Warriors as they head into the playoffs?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but I don't think that he is that missing spice. I really don't think so.
He was arguably their best player last year.
He was 100%, but I still think that like there's something about Golden State, man, with those three in Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Something about those guys, once it hits playoff time, man, they just come alive. Like the whole team comes alive behind them. I think it's going to be a team effort. I think just having Wiggins back into the fold may be, enough to make them better. But I don't think he's like in and of itself going to be a game changer. I think that actually I'm gonna re-go that. He's gonna change Golden State enough to allow them to play better and do better, but I don't think that they're going to be drastically better. He's gonna be like what they need to get to that next level, but I think they had what they needed within him. I don't think Wiggins is gonna do too much except open up the lanes, because it just allows a person to, attack once. Without Wiggins in the lineup, they were missing like somebody to attack the rim. They have Clay and Steph to like drop out, but that's kind of what Wiggins' role was. It was like driving in the lane, pass out if he's too overwhelmed. If not, he can take it to the hoop, and then Draymond's there to dish underneath the basket too. So to me, it just opens everything up. It just makes more breathing room. You know what I mean? So I'm going back on what I said.
For me, I think Wiggins is the thing that's going to let Golden State be able to win a series on the road in the playoffs. Right now, they are terrible on the road, and you can't, if they're not the super high seed, which they're not, they're just not going to be able to get through a playoff series if they have to go play on the road. I think Wiggins is the thing that changes it, because Wiggins is arguably their best defender right now. He's excellent on defense. He was their best defender last year. He's the best two-way player that Golden State has, and he's been out for a significant time at this point. I do think that he's going to be I think Wiggins is going to make the difference too. I think with him in the lineup, if he's fully healthy, he's fully ready to go, I think that they're a Western Conference Finals team. Not a finals team, but I think that they can make it to the Western Conference Finals if he's healthy and good to go.
Yeah. No, I went back on my word and I agreed. I talked myself out.
You started going and you're like, I don't know. No.
And then I was like, you know what? Yeah. No, I'm going to say this, though. I do respect how the Warriors organization handled Wiggins being gone. He was gone for a personal family reason. They never disclosed what it was. Mm-hmm. And they apparently never will. And I like that. I like that they allowed him. They gave him the time he needed. It seemed like they welcomed him back wholeheartedly. And, even with the struggles that they've had, it feels like they didn't hold it on him. They were just like, hey, it's on us, man. Like, you needed to do what you needed to do. And, we're here to support you. And that's great. Like, shout out to the Warriors organization for doing that. Genuinely class act. It's how all sports organizations should handle situations like that.
We've seen in the past with the NBA that that's not how a lot of these teams handle those situations. No. Like, you look at say what you will about Ben Simmons. I think maybe he has handled that situation really poorly, but the teams that he's played for have also handled it extremely poorly. So,
yeah. Not a huge Ben Simmons fan, but I have to agree. Like, you have to have give some of these players some grace and allow them some time to get what they need as far as mental health or family health. Give them the proper time.
Yeah. Well, let's just get to our next topic here. This is arguably one of the bigger topics that we have this week. We joked about it last week that there might be a sale of the WWE happening before WrestleMania. It didn't happen before WrestleMania, but it happened almost immediately after.
I thought it was during. It was after? Okay.
I saw it afterwards. Maybe somebody had it during. But Endeavor is looking to purchase WWE and merge WWE and UFC together into one company.
Yep.
AJ, what?
If I'm being honest, I think this is from what we've seen so far, I think this was a last-second play for Vince McMahon to control and keep control over the WWE while also selling it for a butt ton of money. It's the best of both worlds for this man. He's getting a lot of money for the sale, and he still has, it seems like, been given creative control back to him as a whole of WWE. And that's not great for, wrestling fans as a whole, but it's great for the McMahon family, if that's a good thing.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm really not interested in WWE that has Vince McMahon involved in it anymore. So this is a thumbs down from me. Also, I don't like the business practices that UFC does. I think they're also pretty bad to their, I guess legally they're not employees, same way that with the WWE, but they're pretty bad. Both these companies have really fought against letting their performers unionize or get any kind of essentially medical any power care within the industry at all,
or extensive medical care.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty messed up.
So it's two bad companies coming together to make something probably a lot worse. Both heads of these companies are now they're both people who have assaulted women. Not great.
Yep. Not a good look.
Yeah, so this is just this is a big no for me on WWE. I think if this whole deal goes forward, Vince McMahon's back, they're all working together, I think I'm just straight up done with the company. It just seems like every single couple of years, WWE finds a way to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I'm sure Peanut's not really enjoying this if he's even listening or watching. But that's kind of why I was so excited for AEW, especially because at the time I was really training and working hard to be an indie wrestler, and I saw people that I trained alongside get a lot of opportunities from AEW and the dark matches and elevation matches that happened before the Dynamite and Rampage tapings. So for me, I always saw AEW as like, hey, these guys champion the little guys. They may turn them into jobbers on their like YouTube programming, but it gives them an opportunity to get in front of the crowd and try to win them over. And that in and of itself is an art. WWE has never done that ever in like anything. For maybe some house shows, they call some local talent up, but they have to be the cream of the crop. Whereas like the better, more experienced, athletes within my academy got these opportunities, but it wasn't who was the most popular. It was genuinely like all the top talent in my academy got opportunities by AEW. So I think as a whole, I was genuinely excited for this as AEW coming out, just because they champion the little guy, something WWE rarely does. And it just shows you exactly what it is with this signing and this deal and merger, that they don't care about any of the wrestlers. This is just a business to them. This is just money to them. And Vince McMahon keeping control, keeping a job, but also making a butt ton of money on top of it. Bro, can you imagine anything better for this man? He's so happy. I just feel bad for Triple H because he did a good job. I have to admit it. I'm a big AEW fan. It's been said before. It was just said. But like I was a little nervous he was going to poach some AEW guys because like he was turning up. He was doing good in the few months that he had full control. Now it's just like you see like Bailey leaving. You see how they buried Cody Rhodes. You instantly Switchblade Jay White who was a huge phenomenal star over at New Japan. He was going to sign with WWE and then changed his mind after all the news came out. Like it's not good for the sport. It's not good for wrestling as a whole.
Did you watch WrestleMania this weekend?
I did. Yeah.
What were your thoughts? Because I didn't end up checking it out. I was too busy.
So I think I had the same like response that the majority of the internet had. And it was like, night one, great. This is awesome. Like they did a really good job at WrestleMania. Like, oh my God, maybe this is the new era of like WWE being good and AEW being bad. And then night two came around. I'm like, oh no, this isn't how it should end. And then I watched Raw yesterday, or like, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, Raw yesterday. And I'm like, wow, they just really just gave Vince McMahon everything and let him run. And I just like, it was like high, low. Oh my God, this can't get worse. It is way worse. Like that's just kind of how it felt.
I haven't seen any of the reporting about this, but do you think that the ending of WrestleMania was changed as soon as Vince McMahon got back in? Do you think it was supposed to be that Cody goes over Roman and then Vince got power and was like, Roman doesn't lose. Can't have Roman lose.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes. It feels like that was the case because like I think WWE missed out on an amazing opportunity because you're never going to get a babyface as over as Cody Rhodes was at WrestleMania. Like it was storytelling to its like most poignant point. Two major wrestling families, one who's absolutely hated by the entire WWE universe because he's been universal champion for almost 1,000 days, compared to the guy that they poached from their rival company, who was the son of one of the biggest WWE stars in history, to come back because he literally made AEW. You took an owner from a rival like label, brought them over, built them up to this huge historic comeback when he was getting booed and having his weight belt thrown back at him at AEW. It's the perfect F you to Tony Khan that he could have had. And like he ruined it. He completely ruined it. And then he had Brock Lesnar come in and beat the man for like 10 minutes on Raw and then flip off the crowd. It's just like, that's the ultimate FU. Like that's literally, Brock Lesnar and mostly Vince McMahon flicking off Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes saying, hey, I'm still in control here.
What was the point of the entire thing with Cody and Roman? Really, what's the point of this entire thing with Roman if he's not going to lose at WrestleMania?
I don't know, because to me, I always thought WrestleMania was like, am I wrong in thinking WrestleMania is like their like biggest pay-per-view?
It's supposed to be. It's the capstone of the year of story of wrestling, and you get to WrestleMania, and
That's the guy
ties it all together. That's the ending, and then you get a new year of wrestling.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like,
you're gonna have Roman lose it. What? SummerSlam?
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know, man. There's arguments that to be made that they're making Cody Rhodes like similar to like the 2012 like John Cena run, but like if they're gonna do that, that's poor storytelling. Like, don't rehash something that's only 10 years old. Like, that's just like, really.
Well, it's also, is anybody interested anymore?
No, like, no, they lost their opportunity. Like, as much as people want to say that like Cody wouldn't have had a good storyline, it's better and more fresh than what we have now. You could like test it out. If he's bad and he doesn't do well, turn him into a heel. If he's still bad and they don't like him, take the belt away.
Yeah. Well, that's
but
also
like,
that's garbage. Like, he wouldn't have a good, like, if you can't come up with a good storyline for your champion, it's not that hard.
More on writing.
It's not like wrestling's this really complicated storytelling thing.
No.
The storytelling's pretty simple. You can come up with something for your champion to do for a couple of months.
Yeah, and like, just think like it's so easy. Like, he's a face. Just give him some bad people to deal with. Oh, like the bloodline is after him still while he's like getting charged by, Dominic Mysterio and the like all those guys.
He comes out on Raw and just goes, "Hey, Roman's been champion for over a year, right? So many people haven't got to have their chance at a championship this entire time Roman's been here because he's been open challenge. Everybody gets to come. Kevin Owens, front of the line. Let's go. You get a Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania championship match with Kevin Owens.
They wouldn't do Kevin Owens because he's like the new Universal Tag. So that's the nice thing. The Usos lost
he's going
Sami
to lose.
Zayn
He's
Kevin
going
Owens.
to lose, but you just have him come out and you just have him. Cody Rhodes just goes out, wrestles a bunch of dudes, and then eventually you see which one sticks.
Yeah, and then there's a rivalry you can build. Yeah, totally.
It's not like this stuff is hard. I've watched a lot of wrestling. I know what it's like.
Or you could even go the other way. Like, you can have Cody Rhodes help like Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio if they try to like extend that rivalry out, and then have him like fight with those guys. And then it'd be the Edge, Cody Rhodes, and Rey Mysterio against like that whole team, which is like Damian Priest and like Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio.
You have him do a heel turn halfway through the year, whatever.
Yeah. It's
Instead, we get like 6 more months of Roman.
Yeah, that's great. If there was a vote on the FCF app today about if we should do fan controlled wrestling, and I think right now we've just proven that we should be front of the lines for the writing squad of that. Like, just with that storyline alone that we just wrote right here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do. I don't know if you see, kind of funny. Does they have their own like fake wrestling organization that they do through 2K? Oh yeah. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should write some wrestling for the 2K. Put it out there for the people.
That'd be really fun, actually. Like, have like fans make their own character. Like, try to get your own picture on a CAW, like a character like worksheet, and like flatten yourself out 2D, take your face up, really do your best, and like make the most realistic version of yourself you can. And we'll do a fan. It wouldn't be fan controlled, but it would be fan wrestling, right?
Well, I mean, we're fans. We're in control.
Well, yeah, or we can like invite them on to play themselves, I guess, and like have a major tournament.
Something to think about.
Maybe
that'll happen in the future. Speaking of things that might happen. Speaking of things that are going to happen in the future, AJ.
Floating cars?
The trailer for the Barbie movie dropped yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
AJ, I really liked this trailer.
Okay, tell me why you really like this trailer. I want to know. Can you show me?
It's a commitment to the style is one thing that I really appreciate in this movie. I like the look of it, that like everything in their world is like toys except for them. If you pay attention, like the freeway and stuff, it all looks like it's put together with like plastic toys and stuff. I like the look of it.
The roller skates that Ken holds up. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
I like the color palette.
Very bright pink. Very Barbie.
Bunch of great actors here. I will watch anything that Ryan Gosling's in.
That's hilarious that you said Ryan Gosling, because you were right. There's a treasure trove of amazing actors that they have in this. Shockingly, this is a movie about Barbie, and they have like A-list celebrities all across the board, and multiple A-list celebrities, not just one.
The team behind this movie is actually like super impressive, because it's Greta Gerwig, who did Lady Bird and Little Women. So we're talking about an Oscar nominated writer director, and then she wrote it with Noah Baumbach, who, I don't know if you're familiar with who Noah Baumbach is, but like if you go through his catalog, he's a really famous film writer. He writes really sad like relationship dramas. Like movies that are like guaranteed to like make you cry.
So this movie is gonna like not be what anyone's expecting.
I really think that this is gonna be like a pretty wild movie.
I mean, I guess I'm here for it. I think the thing that like stuck out for me the most was like there's like a very like I'm a big movie nerd when it comes to like specific scenes and like the way they're shot and stuff. And like after working for the FCF and shooting Terrell Owens getting out of his car with his foot touching the floor literally every single time he like came into the building. There's a scene exactly like that in this movie, but it's the opposite. It's like where she takes her like slipper off or her like high heel off.
Oh, and her foot stays up.
Stays up because that's what Barbies did. Like I had an older sister, she had a ton of Barbies. Like that is a vivid memory to me. It's like, why do her feet stay like that? So like I think you're right. I think it's like awesome that they're keeping it to oddly realistic like toy like representation, but it did seem in the trailer like the ending was a little funky because it's like welcome to like the real world or whatever. It was like that, and then like all of a sudden like the colors became a little more realistic, less hyper like colored and blue.
There's a shot
like neons
of Will Ferrell in like an office somewhere. There's some kind of twist happening in this movie.
Yeah.
I really want to know what it is.
Yeah.
The comedy also just really Will Ferrell got me. Yeah, I mean, Will Ferrell's just amazing. But like the I'll beat you off or whatever they were saying at the end of the trailer.
Beach.
Yeah, the beach off.
I'll beat you off. You want to have a beach off, bro? I'll beat you off.
I'll beach off both of you.
I'll beach off both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's the comedy here is really hitting for me. Or just like when she asks him like did he bring his roller skates and he just holds up his roller skates?
I bring them everywhere. Yeah.
I'm interested, man.
Yeah. You're not wrong. It's funny. I think I just have like a dumb sense of humor though. Like my fiance we rewatched Scrubs recently, and like I'm a huge Scrubs fan. Like
great show.
To a point where like I could almost say like every line from every episode for the first 2 seasons or 4 seasons or whatever. But there's a scene in one of the last seasons, because the last seasons were garbage. I didn't watch them all. Where they run into a character called Dr. McToots. And I can't not laugh every time I hear the word McToots.
I get you. Yeah.
And like I feel like this is the same type of humor, so I'm like, I'm here for it. Like, I'm the type of man that'll laugh at somebody when they say duty. Like, bring it on.
Okay, well, this is perfect, AJ, because you just gave me a perfect topic for our next segment, which is off the top 3, the game we play every week. AJ and I are going to make top 3 lists off the top of our head. I've got a topic for AJ. AJ's got a topic for me. Neither of us know what those topics are. But AJ, I want to know, what are your top 3 Scrubs episodes?
Oh, okay, perfect. I know the top 2 off of my head like instantly. First one, like my number one is there's one with Colin Farrell, and it's like I think it's called My Irish Brother. And it's season 4, something like that. I just love it because when I first saw that, I was like in high school. Like I think I was a sophomore in high school. I was really kind of like depressed. Always wanted to be a musician, didn't think I could do it. And I saw that episode, and there's something that he says along the lines of like, you got to live life, lads. Like you got to drink a beer with breakfast. You got to take the ugliest girl home. You got to like, you never know what life will give you once you open your lap and embrace it. And of course it's like oddly sexual and like, it doesn't have the best tendencies, but like the meaning behind it to me kind of like resonated in the fact that like, if you just open yourself up to new opportunities, you don't know what life will bring to you. And I loved that to a point where like I tried to make that my like senior quote and they had to like change it because it was like obviously not PC. So like that one was huge for me. Then there's one with Brendan Fraser, and that one I just really loved because like the character of Brendan Fraser represented, and that was great. Like there was this whole episode where like they didn't think he was actually dead, like, and then he dies.
It's the where do you think we are right now?
Yeah, that episode is just great. Yeah. Like it kills me.
Wrecks you every time.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then I'm gonna say the finale, not season 9 when they're like interns or like doctors.
The episode My Finale.
My Finale, yeah. That one I think gets me just because like it ends in such a perfect way. Zach Braff is such a good like cinematographer, and the fact that like he thinks about everything he shoots, and at that point he'd done Garden State, he had done a lot of really artistic things, and to like have him like help direct that final scene with like I think like his name was like Bill Lawrence or something. The two of them together really came together to work on that final like episode. And the ending is just perfect to me. Like it shows like him and Elliot's future together, potential future. It shows like the past and how he got there. And it was just a very good, you rarely get, especially nowadays, you rarely get a perfect finale on a great TV show where it like wraps it up in a bow and ribbon. And like, you can just be like, okay, I'm happy with that ending. I'll walk away with that. And I'm going to come back time and time again to watch it. And Scrubs to me did that. Like it was the exact opposite of Lost, So I think those are my top 3. Yeah.
Okay. I like the list. That's a solid list.
All right. Now I got to go to you. Since you're so excited for Barbie, I have to go. And it seems like there's a lot of like movies coming out about like old school games and video games like Super Mario Brothers and all that coming out. Give me your 3 old school art, and like Power Rangers coming out too. Old school action figure, toy, or board game or video game you want to see a movie being made out of, and if you can, put a director behind it.
Okay. I would like to see. I know that like this series kept going, but I mean, just start with the original Metal Gear for like the NES port of it. Metal Gear is quite bad, but make a Metal Gear movie. Give me a Metal Gear movie. I want that so bad. Let's see. Action figures. I would like a really good He-Man movie. I know the TV show that they did on Netflix a while ago was supposed to be okay. I never really checked it out. Yeah, but give me a live action He-Man movie. I think I would really enjoy that. And then this one's kind of tough because I didn't have too many action figures. I was a Lego guy, and they already made the Lego movie. The Lego movie, fantastic. Yeah. But I would go for like a Donkey Kong movie, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you want Seth Rogen to continue in the role of Donkey Kong?
Yeah, like if they just want to spin it off from that movie and do a Donkey Kong movie, that'd be fine. I don't know if you remember, like back in the day, there was like a Donkey Kong cartoon on like Fox or whatever, Saturday morning cartoon. I remember liking that quite a bit. So yeah, give me that.
I was expecting like a Sly Cooper or like a Ratchet and Clank kind of thing.
See, okay, so I didn't have a PlayStation when I was a kid. I missed most of that PlayStation. I didn't get a PS2 until very, very late. So
okay,
I missed out on a lot of like that era of like
when
there were like a lot of like really cool mascots and stuff. Just didn't have it. Crash Bandicoot, maybe I could go for a Crash Bandicoot.
That could be a fun one. I feel like Crash Bandicoot, let's be real. That's a little weird. Like, what was he on? Like he was on some sort of drug, right? Like he wasn't just naturally like that. Like you gotta address that in the movie somehow.
You could explore that. You could go deep with that.
Just make it like a noir, like just dark, drug filled serious movie. Oh man.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's Don't Cause a Ruckus. It's a sports debate show that tries not to take itself too seriously. It goes live on twitch.tv/fancontrolledsports every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for everybody who's watching in the chat. You can also check this out on your podcast services. Just go to the Fan Controlled Sports feed. It's also up on the YouTube. Give us a like and a comment there. But until next time, try to keep the ruckus to a minimum.